sitting on the car, not the auto scrub, sorry, the decon. I'm going to get it off the car. We're going to dry it, or blow it off, dry it, all prior to auto scrub. Buddy Chuck 911 on Renlist would beg to differ, but I don't think Chuck's ever made any videos, so my word is gospel on this. This is how I learned how to do it from Mike Phillips at Auto Geek. I went to one of his seminars. Basically pinch the hose. The goal here is just to sort of get the, in my opinion, just get the bubbles off the car. It's not really going to do all that well because there's not I don't have anything on the car anymore. There's very little wax left. Notice the windows sheet much better. Really, I do is just to drag the. I find it helps drag the little bubbles, make them big bubbles. They tend to blow off the car a little better. Plus I do it to get that last little bit of soap off the car. Sort of chase it down the hood. Chase it down the fenders. You just kind of pinch the hose as you need to. Normally when the car is coated or treated or waxed, you really don't, I guess you really don't need to do this. I guess I do it more out of love than out of anything. I think it's neat how water pulls up on this wing. You must have a gallon of water that sits there. Chuck, if I'm fortunate enough to have you watch this video, I'm sorry I'm doing it wrong. I'm waiting to be taught. Go ahead and make a video and show me how to do it. I'm always happy to learn. How you get 99% of the water off the car. Just a sheet of water. Amazing when there's nothing on the paint. The water just sits there in a big pile. So that's it. Decontaminated. Well, 2 of the 3 steps of the decontamination. Dry this thing off. Looks like sheets of water to me. Seems to work. I think I've been doing it right. I've always felt like everybody gets all bent out of shape about drying off the car. I don't think there's really any science to it. If you get the car clean and there's nothing on the car, then you shouldn't have to worry about, making marks, as long as you don't come up and just start raking into the paint. All I do is just take the towel and wipe it off. I mean, there's not any secret to it. Especially if you have the paint treated or coated or waxed. I've never had a problem with toweling marks. Always used high-end microfiber towels. This is an Adams Great White microfiber waffle weave. I've never had a problem as long as, again, I didn't go out and start buffing off the paint with a towel. Just try to make sure you work from the top down and get the thing cleaned off. I mean, just get the water off the car. I've always, tried to keep it out of the sun and, try to get it done as quickly as possible. But, again, I mean, I don't see the issue with just plain and simply wipe the thing off and don't beat the crap out of the paint. You really shouldn't have any issues with towel marks or swirl marks. If you really didn't get the car clean, then I guess you could have a pretty significant issue. But you spend the time, do it right, so you got all the bugs, auto scrub will get the rest of it. Then you shouldn't have to worry about toweling marks. So, what I would normally do on a dry the car off, I'd be normally using a detail spray or a spray-on wax, something to aid in lubrication, make the paint shine a little bit more, maybe add a little extra wax in the car. But since I'm gonna make a big mess here with the auto scrub in a few minutes, there's really no point to wasting my expensive detail spray. Just get the thing dry. Not that it's all that necessary. I probably would be better. I spent all this freaking money on this stuff. I should just pony up and buy a CR spot, whatever they call it, CR spot with a water filter, water filtration. That way I wouldn't have to worry about all this crap. But I like to think of it as bonding with the paint. But I should just pony up and do that. But right now, the only reason I'm drying off is because I just don't want to get any water etching. I don't think it would happen. But I don't want to get any etching on the paint that I have to then grind out with some compound. Because again, I don't think the car, I'm not going to need to get my lights out, but I don't think I need to compound this thing. I think it's a pretty decent, just looking under the lights, I've been staring at it in the sun. So let me see, I don't need to think. I know that the paint looks good. I don't need to compound it. It's going to jewel up nicely. I can't wait to see this blue dialed in. It's going to look awesome. Other than the trunk lid, it's not going to take much work to get this thing looking great. So again, I cleaned the door jambs. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that after the auto scrub. So what I'm going to do is get set up here to auto scrub it. Show you how that works. Last step of the decontamination phase. And then I'll back it out, drive my neighbors crazy, blow the car off again. I won't wash it, I'll just spray it off with a pressure washer, blow it off, and then adjourn for the night. I always like to try to get the car auto scrubbed. That way it can sit overnight, all the little cracks and crevices can dry out, so my pads don't get all wet. So that's why I'm sort of rushing here tonight, get this step done, so that way then I can let the car sit and dry overnight. Because there's nothing annoys me more than when I'm coming with my nice clean microfiber pad and the water comes shooting out of the side of the car. And I gotta go get another pad. So now it's time to auto scrub the car. There's, obviously, one school of thought is you clay bar the car. That's what I've done for years, and what probably, I would argue clay probably still works a little better than the auto scrub does. But the auto scrub's a lot neater, cleaner, quicker. You guess technically cheaper over time. You're not buying clay bars all the time. You can reuse these sponges or pads. I have all of them. I use the fine. My cars are never dirty enough for me to use the heavy duty stuff to really knock out all kinds of stuff off the paint. Plus I did we just talked about the decontamination steps 1 and 2. I have the wash mitt, where you can stick your hand in. I just don't like it. I just feel like it doesn't work. One time I used it and was swiping off the paint right after washing. I figured this would be great and be much quicker. I just felt like I got the baggie out, did the baggie test, and I just felt like it didn't get the thing as clean as I like, so then I ended up getting this out again and doing it. So I have a first generation, if you've ever seen one of these bad boys, first generation Griot's Orbital. I took the big giant handle off of it so it's a little bit lighter, but still a heavy pig. It does the job. Shoot, I've had this thing for 12, 13 years, something like that. But I use this one, I have it, I spent the money on it, it's not worth anything to sell it. So I use this for my auto scrubbing and figure, get this thing all dirty rather than, wet, rather than my high-end root beds. So stick the pad on, nothing scientific about that. This has already been broken in. If you just get one, of course they tell you use it on the glass, you're gonna break it in first. Really just kind of getting the slimy layer off of it on the glass. The auto scrub says use it on setting 1. I don't. I crank it up to 4 or 5. Otherwise, I'll be sitting there all day and I won't do anything. So I use it on setting 4, usually 5 on my Griots. I'd probably do the same thing if I was using my root peds or my if I had a quarter cable or something like that. Then my favorite thing is this little block. Rather than getting out clay, the little block sponge I do use for the front bumper, use for the mirrors, use for all the tight areas of the car. And it just makes it, it's a nice little thing that I sort of carry around with me and use it rather than the wash mitt. So today I'm going to use, I have Optimum No Rinse. I know people love this stuff. I don't really like it. It gets kind of sudsy. Maybe I have just too much in the bottle, but I made a like 7-to-1 mixture in my Crayons old bottles that I don't really like, but I spent a little money on, so I can use them. So this, I'll use Optimum No Rinse. Normally I use the auto scrub with the Nanoskin Glide. I really like that stuff. It doesn't smell as good as like Adams or Griots or something like that, but I guess, who cares? Certainly doesn't know. Adams is probably one of the best smelling things in the world, at least in my opinion, other than maybe the Auto Finesse Desire Wax. So I'm going to show you how to do this. It's really not hard. I've made videos of this before. Just soak the crap out of the paint, spray it down, do it in sections. With the auto scrub versus clay, clay you would pick a little square 2x2 area and kind of work it out. With this, I'm going to do big giant sections. I'll basically break the car into 3 sections, just soak it down with the auto scrub and then let it rip with the Griots and kind of have the sponge handy to just kind of get it cleaned up. You really don't have to be careful with this. I mean, you'll do some marring in the paint. So I always polish after this, personally. You can probably get away with not polishing if you don't have a real discerning eye like I do, because it will mar the paint. I mean, I guess some of it you can see, some of it you can't. So I'm always going to polish afterwards. But don't be afraid to get into this thing. Move it fast. Get it. Just make sure it's not sticking on dry paint. And use a crap load of detail spray. It's not really difficult to do. You can't screw this up. So don't be afraid if you've never done it before. Risk hitting kind of hitting the edge of the pad on the front bumper. I'm going to use the sponge. Let's see if I can position the camera here for you. Let's see what I'm doing. I really need a wide angle lens. Sorry about that, guys. Can't have it all, Jack the ISO up a little bit here. Before this memory card runs out. Again, there's not any rocket science to this. Get it clean. And my paint car's brand new, so it's not like I I've got all kinds of crap all over my paint. I mean, believe it or not, I mean, new cars do end up with some junk on them. Everybody assumes that a new car is looking crazy. Why are you detailing a new car? Well, sometimes a new car is worse than any car that I own. Scratches, swirls, dirt. There's quite a few spots on here just embedded adhesive from God knows what. I've got to get taken care of. So notice I'm soaking this thing, and you can't use too little. And this ONR is so cheap. You know, you buy the thing, it comes in concentrate, and it can make like, I'm gonna have this crap forever. I always end up throwing away half my stuff because some detailing stuff, that's quite a while. I get bored. I always want new stuff, or new stuff comes out. I need to stay off the forums. All right, that's it. Front's done. Use a, just grab a, you know, beat up old Brios towels and just get it wiped off. Again, after this, I'm gonna spray the car off with the pressure washer. Make sure I get every last little piece of dust and dirt off the car before I start messing with the polish. Oh yeah, paint looks good. I'm not going to need to compound this at all, other than the rear deck. Can't wait to see what this looks like with two coats of wax on it. I was chickening out on the blue. I really wanted the blue, but I was going to order white, like 90% of everybody else, because the GT3 looks so great in white. And I'm so glad, especially being a detail freak. You know, having a color, blue, red, I just think it just suits me better. It's gonna be more fun to, although I've been having a hard time photographing this thing, because I've been shooting white for so long. White has its own set of problems trying to take a picture of it. The blue, it's hard to capture, so it's accurate. But I really like this Sapphire. Really, it reminds me of my old Electron Blue Civic Si, which I'm sure many of you have had or certainly know about. That's it. Nice and clean. I don't even need to do the baggy test. I know it's clean. You know, the auto scrub, it still doesn't work as well as clay, but the polish will get the rest out. As long as you're getting the heavy contaminants off, the polish will make it silky smooth afterwards. That's it.